He had the darkest, most majestic mane among the lions of South Africa. In Kruger National Park, he was considered one of the legendary lions and ancient warriors. He formed alliances with many of his offspring and even with former enemies, lions who were later killed or disappeared. Yet he remained as a striking symbol of resilience and ferocity. He was known as Lobi Lobi, where he lived for a long time, mastering the tactics of survival. Today, we dive deep into every detail of his fascinating life in a world filled with rival and deadly predators. Heading south into Africa, the land of legends and the most diverse wildlife, without skipping over Sabi Sand, the hell of African lions, we pause at one of the most distinguished lions in Kruger National Park. September 20th, 2014 was a remarkable date when two young lions appeared on the plains of the Skukuza area. They entered the region flaunting their massive size and muscular frames to all the animals there, bullying and harassing anyone they encountered, causing chaos and declaring war on everyone. This challenge was not random. It was clear they were incredibly strong and deeply united as brothers, carrying the same temperament, combat techniques, movements, and violence. They became the true rulers of Skukuza, driving out all the males that existed at that time. One of them was nicknamed Rambo for his enormous size, while the other was called Dark Mane because of his dark coloration and eyes that turned from yellow to red when enraged. Together, their coalition was called Mazichi, since no one knew their fathers or origins. Still, they became the undisputed rulers of the region, though only for a short time. Only a year later, 3 nomadic males entered their territory. These lions were extremely strong, bullies who caused chaos in the same way Dark Mane and Rambo had done upon their arrival. At first, 2 of the intruding lions managed to corner Rambo and tear him apart after a savage and brutal battle. The 3rd lion then attempted to kill or drive Dark Mane away, but Dark Mane fought fiercely. In revenge for Rambo, he succeeded in killing one of the 3 lions. His fight didn't stop there. He launched a deadly war against the other 2 and eventually drove them away from the area in a stunning surprise. He proved to everyone that he was a very strong lion, a true African legend. But only 2 days later, one of the aggressive lions returned, still unsatisfied with defeat. What happened next shocked everyone. Dark Mane accepted this rival lion's presence without another fight and formed a new partnership and coalition with him. Perhaps Dark Mane, with his sharp intelligence, realized he could not rule the region alone. So, he adopted the principle of mutual interest. Together, the 2 lions settled in the area near Lobi Bridge. The newcomer roamed in the region called S36, and so Dark Mane was later named Lobi Lobi, after the place where he settled, while the other lion was nicknamed S36. Together, they dominated every corner of Skukuza. Lobi Lobi fought many battles alone, and legendary tales were told about him in Kruger. In one story, he fought 4 strong young lions all by himself, killed 3, and drove away the 4th. The only injury he sustained was the loss of part of his tail. Because of this, he was given another nickname, Kinky Tail. However, the real Kinky Tail, the powerful lion of the deadly Mapogo coalition, could never be compared to anyone else. Lobi Lobi and S36 patrolled daily near the Skukuza camp under the eyes of visitors, controlling the H1 and Ha roads, mating with most of the lionesses they encountered, filling the area with their offspring. Lobi Lobi had unusual habits. Every morning, he performed stretching exercises to maintain his fitness. He walked the road from Skukuza to Lower Sabi Sand and back the same day. He had a strong personality that gave him great confidence, and he hunted daily without any help from lionesses. He was often seen with his ally S36, their bellies full after successful hunts. But on January 25, 2018, S36 vanished completely in mysterious circumstances. This left Lobi Lobi alone once again. Yet this did not affect him much, as he continued ruling the region single-handedly until early 2020. By then, he had aged somewhat and decided to form a coalition with one of his young sons. As expected, Lobi Lobi achieved great success across South Africa. Along with his son, he carried out extensive patrols, marking their presence everywhere without fear. This continued until June 21, 2021, when his son and ally mysteriously disappeared. As days passed, Lobi Lobi grew older, with clear signs of weakness. Still, he remained the ruler of his land, strong as ever. Once, he even descended into a crocodile pond at Noko Holo and stole a carcass, not because he was hungry, but simply to irritate the crocodiles and prove his dominance. Throughout his life, Lobi Lobi hunted buffalo, rhinoceroses, elephant calves, ostriches, and even vultures. This fearsome lion tasted the flesh of nearly every creature in the reserve. Then, on July 5, 2021, a young lion named Leopon entered Lobi's territory. Leopon was determined to mate with one of the king's lionesses. But Lobi Lobi suddenly appeared, having caught his scent. A fierce battle erupted, during which Lobi inflicted severe wounds that nearly killed Leopon, forcing him to flee and save his life. Later, Lobi Lobi discovered another lion mating with one of his lionesses. The king killed her as a lesson to the others, proving that betrayal carried a fatal price. By then, 2 of Lobi's sons had reached adulthood. Coincidentally, Leopon was seen with them, the 3 lions forming a coalition. There was a high chance they would attack Lobi at any moment. By early 2022, no part of the king's face was left unscarred, evidence of countless battles. On April 3rd of the same year, the old king made a brilliant move by forming an alliance with those 3 young lions. 2 of them were named S28 after their origin, while the third was called the Hippo Pool Lion, named after his native home. These lions were now at their prime, around 7 years old, led by the experienced and powerful Lobi Lobi. In his final days, Lobi Lobi vanished from Kruger for 2 months. When he reappeared, he looked frail and weak, much like the King Nenha before his death. His body was covered in serious wounds, and he struggled to walk on his right hind leg, clearly injured from a recent brutal fight with other lions. No details were ever confirmed, but one thing was certain: it was impossible for him to survive in the harsh wild any longer. His life had entered its final countdown. Indeed, only a day after this sighting, the legendary lion passed away. He had fought countless rival lions and coalitions, endured the brutal challenges of the wilderness, and survived for many years, spreading his genes across every corner of Kruger National Park.